Hello, welcome to Accounting Your YouTube channel. So today I'll be discussing about incomplete records and just walking you how to move from bank statement to trial balance. Now, you agree with me that most businesses, especially SMEs, even with current issues, have issues of incomplete records, where messy books, right, where you just have this bank statement. And you want to be able to move from that very unstructured to a very structured position, right? And one of the critical things is getting a trial balance. Yeah. Now, if you find yourself in a situation where you have incomplete record and you're dealing with bank statements, there are some steps you need to take, right? So as much as possible, you get all the bank statements the business owns. Yeah. Get a list of customers, get a list of vendors, I get a list of employees, right? Um, get any sales reports they have, get any report on purchases they have. Yeah. Then get their CAC registration so that you could get information relating to their shareholders and their directors, right? So that you could know how much, how much investment they have in the business and the rest. Now, this particular is focused on the bank statement analysis. And the idea is, as much as possible, most transactions a business will undergo, one way or the other, go through the bank statement. There are very minimal transactions that will not go through the bank statement. Now, this is a scenario where the company has a bank account and the transaction passed through that bank account. So let's, for example, I have the bank statement, right? The critical piece for me is being able to analyze that bank statement. Yeah. Analyzing that bank statement means I am making each transaction and be able to classify them into various categories, maybe revenue and expense, right? Expense in terms of either they are paying salaries or it has to do with we are buying an item, they are paying for consultants, they are paying for transportation, different expenses. Yeah. Or it's collections from a customer, right? Or they are paying a vendor, right? It has to do with equity injection by the owners of the business. They are buying asset or inventory. That's the end goal. You want to analyze the bank statement such that you're able to have it placed into various categories, right? Following basically the 5 elements: your assets, your liability, equity, right? Income, and expense. Yeah. Now, but the first thing is because of your understanding of the business, you want to have what we call a chart of account. Now, the chart of account basically just helps you, it serves as the backbone of the entire business, right? And which is really created based on the elements, right? So, for example, this is a robust chart of account that has class. If you see them, all these ones are all under your non-current assets. If you look at all these, they're all under what? Your current assets. If you go down here, you have your non-current liability, you have here your current liability, right? And you scroll down, you have your equity. Scroll down, you have things that are relating to income. Scroll down here, you have things that are relating to expense. So it's a chart of account. You can see them 5 series, 4 series, and the GL code. Now, for every group, you have what we call a group code. Yeah. And you have the series. So meaning that GL code linked to property plant equipment could range from 100,000, right, to 100,999. Yeah. So you have that. So this now follows that sequence for all the various groups based on the business structure in terms of the various subgroups that exist that are driven by the 5 elements. Now, based on the business, one is going to end up creating all the relevant GL codes that are relevant for that business, right? But I would not talk much about this. We'll come back to it. Now, let's go back to our bank statement. Now, I have a bank statement. Typically, you downloaded it. You see posting date, value date, description, debit or credit. Then you have the balance, right? Now, because of the organization may have multiple bank accounts, you create a new column called bank account. So you put it, if it has 5 bank accounts, you're putting each for a bank statement, you put the bank account relates to. So you can actually have in one sheet all the bank statements you have. But this particular column G will help to tell you which of the bank statements you're dealing with, right? Now, next thing is you create a column for amount, right? Which is basically the difference between your debit and credit, right? So you see here, for example, you see credit here. Now you can see it is positive. It's very important to understand the number sequencing, right? When any number can whether is it minus or positive, right? So for in this particular scenario, we've chosen that credit is positive, right, and debit is negative. Yeah, because credit is like an inflow and debit is an outflow. Yeah. Now I have classes. I call it class 1, class 2, class 3. And this is where I classify every transaction. So you see here, it makes it what we call like a drop down. So I would have identified different classes of transaction that the business will undergo, right? Which I'll create like a drop down list. So data sources. So you see here, so I have put them there. So anytime I want to post a transaction, I'll select each of the class. If there's a class I don't have, I introduce that class. So I keep adding it as I see more class of transactions as I go through it. Yeah. So I go through it and I keep classifying each transaction based on my interaction, understanding of it. I classify each transaction. And you see that I continue until I've gone through all the bank accounts. Sometimes you find yourself that some of the transactions you don't know yet, you need clarity, right? You go back until you understand each transaction. So there are instances where you have not been to classify a transaction, right? So you leave it that way. But here I have the 2 bank accounts owned by this business and all the classifications. Once I have that, right, I have that class 1, class 2, class 3. So you can see, for example, I had fixed assets. Fixed asset could have furniture and fitting, computer equipment, so I have a class 2 for it. So I can trace the second category of classes it has. So there are transactions like that I want to know. For sales, I may have 3 revenue streams for sales. So I want to put each of them into category. Now, once I have done properly classified all these transactions, what I want to do next is run a pivot, right? So I highlight the entire geo dump or the entire transaction dump, right? From the beginning to the end. Then I do a pivot. Pivot can be found under my insert pivot table here. And I say from table range, this will come up, right? And I click OK. Now with this, all I need is to select my class into rows here. And I put my amount into value here. So this basically summarizes my transaction for me. Yeah. So now I basically need to summarize this entire transaction. What the implication of this, right? I'm assuming I have just one bank account. It means that if I want to pass this as an entry, yeah, I have all my expenses and have my bank balance, right? So meaning that I can pass for all the negative, I'll pass a debit, and for all the positive, I'll pass a credit, right? So by the time I pass my debit, credit, debit, credit, debit, credit, it will pull like almost like a posting entry, right? And the final balance, because this is positive, it means I have a balance in my bank account, right? So the final figure, I will just have to pass, right? So that which will be my bank account. So you see all this, yeah. By the time I pass it, I would pass it in what we call like a general ledger here. This is my general ledger on Excel. So I have my posting date, the GL code, the description, the transaction. I usually put a link reference. So this bank analysis 01, right? The amount, whether debit or credit. Then I have the amount here, which is my debit minus my credit to get the figure here. Then I actually put where I sourced it from, commentary, so that tomorrow if I'm looking for I understand. So from bank statement analysis, yeah. So I pass it. So I pass all this, right? So in this place, I now also have my GL and GL code and GL description. You remember when I talked about the chart of account here? Yeah. So here I have created all the potential GLs that I would need. Yeah, listed them, created them here. So once I have all this, I have posted them on my general ledger here. Now, someone else could have done this posting at a transaction level of the bank statement analysis, But for simplicity, I have my bank statement analysis. So if I want to go back and understand anything, I can go back there. But I pass it at that consolidated version using my pivots into this place. Yeah. So you see the figure here, I see my amount, and I passed it. Yeah. So if you check it, I pass all my entries into this place. So this now serves as my general ledger on Excel, and it has that. Now, this in turn is what I would now do a pivot on to get like my trial balance. Now, the idea is that sometimes after your bank statement analysis, there's certain adjustment that you need to pack because it's on cash basis, and we know accounting is based on accrual, right? So, example, for example, during my bank statement analysis, I treated any purchases from a vendor as inventory. But then I know that I've sold them and I need to reconcile my inventory to reflect only what's outstanding at the end of the period and pass whatever is there into my expense GL as cost of sales, right? In that scenario. So that's an example of a transaction. Or I paid for rent and I treated it as prepaid rent. I want to adjust and pass whatever has been amortized as my rent expense, right? So it's in this GL that I'll do all those manual adjustments, right? All the relevant adjustments. So you see here, for example, I've scheduled, have contracts, right? All the necessary things that are necessarily not cash basis, depreciation of assets, I pass all that. So this now gives me a more complete spool or a more complete general ledger that can actually be translated into a proper trial balance. Yeah. Now, based on that, I can now also run a pivot again here. Similar step, I do go to insert, pivot table range, right? And I click OK. Yeah. So with this, I can just easily put in my row GL, description also in GL, and I can put amount in value, right? Now, it looks a little tattered, right? It's not clean. So what do I do next? I go to my pivot table analysis, my design. I go to my report layout, and I put tabular, right? Then I tell it, do not show subtotals, right? Under my subtotal, I say do not show subtotals. You see? Now, if you look at this, it looks like a trial balance, right? Complete all my GLs are posted and all this. Now with this, I now have my trial balance. And if I want to move to the next stage of preparing a manual account, I can actually use this to prepare a manual account. So these are the basic steps. And if you find this quite interesting, we have a training for you, which is what we call accounting system in practice, where we'll walk through dealing with incomplete record, how to analyze a bank statement, how to put a structure in a business instead of an accounting system, and many more. Now, you would see in the link in the YouTube channel how to register for the course. Stay tuned and stay in. And it's very affordable. For virtual person, it's just about 6,125. And for physical person, just about 2,250. So please, free. And don't forget, subscribe and like and share with friends. Thank you.